ENCA, for example, is quoting Ivan Waldeck of Santaco as saying, Friday we came to an agreement. Saturday they impounded 6 vehicles again, making us angry, provoking us. JP Smith, the Mayco member for Safety and Security. JP, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John.
Is there a written agreement?
Yes, very much. A document produced by the provincial government that clearly spells it out. I reproduced the content on my Facebook page to make sure that there could be no confusion. And we did that on Friday already, put it out there so that everybody knew exactly what had been agreed.
Did Santaco sign that document?
I don't know if it went to the point of signatory, but there is no confusion about what we agreed to. There were 4 things that were undisputed as being on the list of serious offences, and that we would continue to impound for those 4 offences. Everybody in those discussions understood that and walked away with that understanding. You couldn't have been confused about that. It was very clearly without an operating license, off-route, unroadworthy vehicle, or a driver without a driver's license or PDP. That was not in dispute. We were meant to meet tomorrow morning to start thrashing out the list of what is serious and less serious. The Act allows us to impound for every traffic offence. Our officers have been exercising discretion in this regard, doing 1 impoundment to about 50 fines, and the taxi task team would resume tomorrow to start guiding that discretion with what we call a standard operating procedure to say when we impound and when we fine. Santaco has unfortunately now indicated their unavailability for tomorrow morning, but our internal meeting will proceed.
Look, I wasn't in the meeting, and so I don't know whether you are reflecting Santaco and understanding by Santaco, which they now are reneging on. But you're absolutely, so that they indicated, if not by signing a document, they indicated by word that they understood that the agreement would allow impoundments to continue.
Absolutely. There was the agreement that we would continue to impound for those 4 serious things for the next 2 weeks, and that by the end of those 2 weeks, we had to conclude the standard operating procedure, which would guide the discretion that the officers exercise on the impoundments for the other 200 or 300 possible offences, and the conditions in the Road Traffic Act and the conditions of the operating licence. There are some of those that are serious, like having firearms in vehicles and other stuff that you really want to apply your mind to, and drunk drivers and so forth. There are other things that probably, which we have now proactively looked at and now happy to put in the category of a traffic offence that needs to be attended to by a fine, but that doesn't require an impoundment. So we are comfortable that we understand our way forward. We were planning on bringing that, or trying to get that to the table with Santaco tomorrow morning to try and conclude on that as quickly as possible, so we don't get to the end of the 2-week period without a clear way forward and leave anything in doubt.
The 3 of the 4 infractions are yes or no's. They're black and white. There's no, you either have an operating permit or you don't. You either have a driver's license or you don't. You're either on an authorized route or you are not. No argument. The other one, though, around roadworthiness, that the officer could say this taxi is unroadworthy, and Santaco could say, come on, it's not that unroadworthy.
There is a definition, John, for unroadworthy, and for what
fair enough. I'm just trying to understand. What I want to understand is, of the impoundments that happened over the weekend, how many fall into those 3 categories where there can be no argument versus the 1 category about which there might be argument?
No, none. There was none dispute. The only impoundment that was done outside of the agreement is the one for the overloaded vehicle, which had 4 more passengers on it than it should have had. And that, in fact, should really be an impoundment offence. But in terms of the agreement, which we had to get to a point where we could reach the agreement and not endlessly debate, because we had to get Santaco to stop the violence that they were perpetrating in order to force the matter in their favour, on that effect, we have a whole bunch of stuff that still needs discussion. I suspect something as serious as 4 people in a vehicle should be in that impoundment category, but for the purpose of the agreement, it is not, and that means we have to carry on discussing that. That vehicle had not yet been processed at the pound, so we were able to return the vehicle to them, having noted the error or caught it in time. The rest of the impoundments are completely within line of the agreement with Santaco. It's 13 other vehicles, the 14th one returned.
And is there a case to be made for a moratorium by the city for the 2 weeks that you were going to be talking about these things?
But that wasn't the agreement with Santaco. It's not what they asked. It's not what we agreed to. You can't keep on revising these things as you see fit. You have to negotiate in good faith. You can't come to an agreement on Friday and on Saturday or Sunday want a new agreement, because then why not the city also? Why not the general public, who also have their own opinions? Can show you any number of messages of people who said, please tell me you haven't sacrificed road safety for the sake of making peace with people who use violence. So there's a broad public interest not to be sacrificed here. There was an agreement, a clear agreement, and we shouldn't have to constantly revise that. We must all just stick to the agreement.
Then thank you, J.P. Smith, Alderman J.P. Smith, Mayco member for Safety and Security.
Afternoon Drive with John Maytham
on Cape Talk.